Welcome back to my channel. This is AJ Budgets. Today we are not really doing a refresh, but I want to kind of lay out what savings challenges are going to look like for 2026. So we're going to go into my yellow binder, which is my savings challenge binder. This cute little keyring is by Budget with Emmy. Again, I don't know if she's still doing budgets or an Etsy, but if she is, I will link her down below. Inside, you're going to see my little savings challenge dashboard. I made that. I don't have an Etsy, but you know, sometimes I get crafty. And then my little trackers are by Sav Saves, and I will link her down below. But today, like I said, we're going to jump into what savings challenges are going to look like for 2026 and figure my life out. So let's jump into it. I got this budget insert booklet from Amazon. We'll link it down below. Don't know if it's still available. I think I've had this thing for like 2 years, but maybe even 3 years. There's a ton of different savings challenges. They're so stinking cute. There's summer ones, there's fall ones, there's winter ones, there's Christmas ones. And then there's like little animals, rainy day, Sudoku. I struggle with numbers, so probably will not be doing those. There's little honeycombs. Yeah, just all kinds of cute little savings challenges that you can do, and a lot of different dollar amounts. I set up my budget before I decided I was going to start a YouTube channel for budgeting, but I set up my annual budget a couple of weeks ago. I think it was over Thanksgiving break. I'm a teacher, so I try to utilize my breaks for myself because I spend so much time and energy in what I do. I work with alternative school and credit recovery high school students who have struggles in the classroom. So I put a lot of time and energy into having a lot of patience for my students. So when I'm on breaks, I try to do breaks for me and just to kind of reset and refresh. So with that being said, over Thanksgiving break, I kind of looked at what do I want 2026 to look like. And one of the things I miss from having a larger income is having a savings challenge come up every single month. And so in 2026, I decided I'm going to do that. So you're going to see some smaller budgeting savings challenges and then some larger ones. And that's just so I have a little bit of extra wiggle room. So if I wanted to spend a little bit more on like a fancy dinner, I can, or if I wanted to like go out to the bar or go see a movie or whatever it is, I won't feel guilty because I'll have that extra money to where I haven't budgeted it or thought about it, and I can just go and utilize it. So with that being said, I've kind of, like I said, already done this, but I haven't really set up the binder in its entirety. So I have a savings challenge that's going to come up every single month. And I also have decided I do want to start building my emergency fund. If you watched my other videos, in my sinking funds binder, I do have $1,000 buffer / emergency fund for myself. Then I have an emergency fund for medical and my dogs, and a personal and like mini vacation, which aren't really emergencies, I know, but sometimes a vacation is an emergency. So, and sometimes shopping is also an emergency. Anyways, I like to have guilt-free money kind of set aside, and I'm in a position in my life after working this system for the last 7 years that I'm able to do that. So with that being said, I do want to start building on that slowly. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit $1,000 in 2026 because I'm really tight in my budget. And we'll just kind of see where we'll get. If it takes me 2 years to do this, it takes me 2 years. But I do want to get that in my savings challenge binder so it is there. So I'm going to go through my savings challenge binder so you can kind of see this with me. So dashboard again, made by me. I do have I do pull cash for a couple of things, and that's my weekly spending. I don't spend a lot of money, but every once in a while I want like a diet soda out of the machine, or I just need like a little chocolate or a little bag of chips to pick me up in the teacher's lounge. Or maybe I want to run to Starbucks or Coop's coffee that's in town. So I give myself $10 to $20 a week, kind of depending on what it is. And then I save that. And then anything I don't use on Fridays, I put into this, it's called dollar bills, y'all. Oh, I forgot who, Ira Budgets out of England. So I'll link him down below. He's awesome. Made this for me. He has an Etsy shop. So this is the only time you're going to see real money is in the dollar bills, y'all. And so, like I said, I have made it to where I can save $225, and then I utilize this money for different things, specifically for vacations. So I'm going on a couple of vacations this summer. On spring break, I'm going to Cali to see my oldest and youngest godsons. So I want to have $50 in emergency cash. That's like if I need to grab a taxi, or I'm at the airport and I don't know. I need to tip somebody. I just like having some cash on hand. And then in Mexico, I wanted to make sure I had like $100 in kind of emergency cash. Again, for tips, or I know we're going to go and do a couple of like adventures. And I was reading online where like the fees to the park aren't always included in the package price. So just having that extra cash on hand, just in case I need it. So like I said, each week I put a little bit. Last year I was able to do this $225 3 times. Not sure how we're going to do it. I've limited my budget, or I've decreased my weekly budget to 10 to 15, 20 occasionally dollars a week, where I was doing $20 to $25 a week last year. So the weekly budget has decreased. So I am making the assumption that the number of times I'm going to be able to do this each year is also going to decrease. But I have been doing this since August was the last time I did it. And I think I have 150 some odd dollars. So 150, 5, 6, and 157. And so there's a dice that you can roll to play this, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm a little OCD, little bit type A Virgo. So for me, I like to knock it out numbers at a time. I have 2 random extra dollars. So when I get 2 more dollars, I'll erase that and fill in the 4. But I filled out the 8s first, and the 7s, the 6s, the 5s. And now I'm working on my, I'm still working on my 5s and my 4s. So yeah, there is that. Then I'm going to get into my challenges. I do try to keep a challenge total. Really terrible at doing that. As you can see, it's been almost 6 months since I've updated it, and I have nowhere near this amount anymore. Yeah, it is the end of the year, and we're kind of starting fresh for the year. So I will clean that off and be right back. So first challenge we're going to jump into is this winter challenge. I just recently started this back in November. I completed my prior winter challenge. I like to get facials 3 to 4 times a year. I try to do it quarterly. I don't always have the budget to do it quarterly. I think next year I'm not going to have the budget to do it quarterly, but in 2027, I want to. I've already saved for my 2026 ones. I only have $300, well, almost $300, when I get paid on, or not when I get paid, when I get some Christmas funds in a CD that comes up, I'm going to have the funds for that. Well, so I'll be stuffing that in the next couple of weeks or days. Wow. Christmas is like 3 days away. So anyways, but my goal for 2027 is to go back to quarterly facials. Like I said, I have a very high stress job, and I like to take time for myself. I started doing my own nails. They are the press-on, glue-on nails. So that money is significantly decreased. And so I wanted to make sure that I do a monthly massage and then a quarterly facial, and just kind of investing back into myself and my like mental state. But if for some reason I don't have the money, I can cancel that appointment, and go from there. So the goal is to have $400 by December of 2026, so that my 2027 facials are covered, and then I don't have to worry. It's guilt-free self-care. So right now I have 20, 30, 32. And so my goal is to put $16 a month into this. And so in each snowflake, I started with 16 and then I got to 32. And then that way I'm not having to count every 5 seconds when I look at this. I have the total recorded on each snowflake. Next one is the hamster challenge. I've decided this is going to come up in January. I'm doing a no spend month in January. Okay, I say that very confidently. I'm going to attempt to do a no spend month in January. I struggle with no spend months, but I'm going to really, really try hard. So I wanted to do a smaller challenge. That way in January, when this does come up, it can stay close to no spend. I will have this $20 free to where I can maybe, you know, go and do whatever $20 is going to get me in this economy. Coffee, maybe 2 coffees. Or something along those lines. So with my December paycheck, I gave myself $9, and then with my January paycheck, I will be fully funding that $20. And so we'll figure out what I do with that next month. I don't have any plans for that. Sometimes I have plans for my savings challenges, like the facial one planned, because sometimes I don't have the money to fund all of these, so I have to kind of prioritize. Like this, I have to put $16 a month to make it the money work out. This one, if something came up and I needed that $11 to go someplace else, like it's a no spend month. Should I be spending money? Probably not. Save 130 days. 30 days is not how long this is going to take me to save. I've been saving this for a while. But this is my one that I wanted to come up in February. So I'm coming off that no spend month. So I wanted to have that $100 in February. I also like to buy my students a little something for Valentine's Day. I usually make them cupcakes and get them some candy. One of my friends' birthdays is also in February. And I know I have a birthday fund, but that's more for my family stuff. I usually pull out that friend spending from his. So maybe I'll take her out to lunch or buy her a gift card or something. So goal is to have $100 by February 2026. So $50, $70, $81. We are very close to that. If you watched some of my previous videos, I talked about doing homebound. So my homebound money is where this is coming from. This is the Dragon Challenge, and it should be done in April because I'm going to use some of my regular money to finish this out. I ended up having to buy new glasses because I had to get bifocals because I'm old now. Anyways, so in my homebound money, the majority or the first priority was to repay back my emergency fund in my money market account to get that medical fund back up to $1,500, which is my annual deductible. Wanted to get that back up to $1,500 just in case anything happened. I had that money saved. So some of December's homebound money went towards that, and then I get paid for homebound again in January, and a bulk of it's going to go here, and then I won't have quite enough to finish that 130. So I've budgeted out to where by April I can have this $130. So, and again, there is a long weekend in April, and I would love to maybe go and do something on the weekend, like maybe go up to first weekend in Kansas City, to the antique shops. Yeah, or maybe go down to Arkansas, Eureka Springs, and do something for the weekend or for a day, and make a little day trip out of it. Okay, the mandala one. This one will be ready in May. I have a little front garden, and I kind of want to dip my toe into actual gardening. I live in Missouri. It's supposed to be, they tell me it's supposed to be easy. We'll see. So I wanted to give myself a budget for plants. Things I might need, like I don't know if I want to like actually garden in the ground, so I might not want to get like a raised garden bed. Anyways, I figured $250 would give me a good start on that, so I have until May to get this done. I would also love to plant a weeping willow tree in the front yard. My mom loved weeping willow trees. She died back in 2017. I don't know. There's a really awesome spot on the side yard, and I just think it would be beautiful. And so those are like $200. So I might do that instead of a garden. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I have until May to figure my life out. So 50, 75 so far in here. The Love to Save challenge. I've been doing this challenge for 5 years now. That gives me $500 at the end of each year to just kind of do whatever with. So maybe that is going to go towards my emergency fund. Maybe I overspent at Christmas and it all went to Christmas, which may or may not be what happened to it this year. Yeah, so it just gives me $500, and it's just you know, 40, well, it's $40 a month. So if you got paid twice a month, it would be $20 a paycheck, which it does add up over time to that $500. Right now I'm at 20, 40, 60, 80. I did finish this challenge in well, it's actually in October. So I started stuffing this one in November. So it'll come up in November of next year. Okay. And then I want to add in my emergency fund, I think, to the back here. Budget with Emmy, I need you to start making things again so I can get a cute little emergency funds on one of your fun little envelopes. Okay, and then I have all of these other challenges that I'll be doing throughout the year. So I think I need to put this March one in because I think in January I'm going to be stuffing that. And I want to kind of put these in month order. So yeah, this one's coming up in January, February. So I think March then will be this little guy. Okay, so we have March, April, May. That one's August. Oh, I do have a June one. Okay, and then a little June one. I am going to Mexico in June, but I'm also going to be teaching summer school in June. So I wanted to have just a little bit extra, not a whole lot, just like a little extra cash in case I needed to go out. In case I wanted to go out and eat or maybe get the summer school kids like Sonic one day or whatever. So, okay, this one comes up in November, which means this one will be December. And we're hope and a prayer. This one is sometime in this year. It's in there. Okay, so that means our savings challenge binder is all set up now for 2026. We are ready to finish and or start saving. I find that, I don't know if it's my personality type, but I like to do the same thing or similar things over the years just because it worked, and that consistency really helps me stay on track. So again, budgeting is going to look different for everybody, and you just have to find what works for you. And these are some of the things that I found works for me. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.